Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome, everybody. Oh, my goodness. It is Tuesday. And this week's flying by already. It's a beautiful day here in northern Colorado. Let me tell you, I have a confession to make. I literally have an army of cats now. I don't know how this happened to me. I think that I was actually probably the exact opposite of like a crazy cat lady. You know, I never thought I would be like, actually, I didn't even before I moved to my farm, I really was not a cat person at all. I hadn't had one since I was a kid. And that one was mean. The cat we had when we were little, my sister and I were little, was freaking mean, man. It had half his face tore off all the time. His name was Smokey, and he was gross. He was kind of gross, you know? So I guess that was my impression of a cat, and I didn't want any really. I was like, oh, okay, cool, cats, but not for me. Plus, Jason's allergic. He gets all congested and stuff around cats. So I never thought that I would be like a cat person until we moved to the farm. And then this random cat showed up, and we named her Sadie, and she was badass. We had voles all over here on the farm. They're like little mice, but they have pointy faces. They're really gross. Anyway, because this property, when we bought it, was, I think it had been rented for a while. And then, long story. Anyway, nobody was living here for a while. So it was it was overrun with these stupid vole things. And this cat, Sadie, she just must have known that we weren't cat people. And so she went out and she killed 6 or 8 of those things. And she brought them on the door and lined them up perfectly, right by the door. And I was like, okay, well, you can stay, because I was not a fan of rodents. I am not a fan of rodents, obviously. So anyway, that started kind of this thing with cats around here. And then, my dog passed away a year ago around Christmas time. It's been a year since we lost Sonny, and we had him for 14 years. And these 2 little kittens showed up. My daughter at her dance studio, somebody had some kittens. And she was showing me pictures. I think, she knew I was kind of sad about the loss of Sonny because he was my boy. And so she brought these little kittens around, and I caved. I was like, okay, but they're barn cats, right? They're barn cats. So these little things had super personality, and they were hilarious, and they were cute. Well, anyway, long story short, another couple cats showed up because our friend that helps us here on the farm from time to time, he had to get rid of 2. And I thought, we need some more mouse hunters or whatever. 4 cats tops, right? That's 4 cats tops. That's all I'm going to have. Well, I guess I was a little irresponsible, I guess you could say, because we had some more kittens. And now, you guys, I have 8 cats here. I have 8 cats. And it occurred to me last night because now they wait for me. They wait for me on the deck when it gets dark. I put them in at night into the barn. They're roaming free all day, and then they go in at night because we have coyotes around here. And I literally have an army of cats. So I'm painting a picture here for you. Tonight, maybe I'll take some video because it's pretty funny. It's all these cats, they just come out of nowhere as soon as I open the door. As soon as it's dark around 8:30, 9 o'clock here, I open the door. It's they hear the creak of the door, and they just come out. And then they follow me all the way to the barn. Of course, I have tuna. So, I'm probably my own worst enemy here. I mean, I just don't know how I got here. I don't know how I got here. I grew up on Vancouver Island. I grew up in Victoria City. I walked to work all the time. I lived in a little, cool house downtown. And now I live with 8 cats. And, oh yeah, we have some visiting Scottish Highlanders as well. Oh my gosh. I forgot to bring you pictures. Tomorrow I will bring you pictures because we have a couple visiting. And by visiting, I mean sleeping over, if you know what I mean. So, a guy who is also into Scottish Highlanders brought his heifer over here, and she has a baby right now. So her baby bull had to come with her. And so they're visiting because McGregor is going to do his thing. And then they'll come back and pick him up. And oh my gosh, his little blondie is so cute. So anyway, there's a lot going on here on the farm, I guess is what I'm trying to tell you. And I'm currently looking for anyone that would like, maybe a couple little kittens, because 8 kittens is a lot of cats. That's a lot of cats. So if you know anyone, hit me up because in the northern Colorado area, of course, I'm not shipping a cat, but they're really cute. I'll bring you some video tomorrow. Anyway, let's get to the show because I have so much to talk about. I didn't even know this hearing, I'm inundated with health news and I can't get enough of it. So I'm kind of obsessed. I'm kind of a whack job in that way. I'm like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Well, I didn't even realize that they were having another vaccine hearing today. So Ron Johnson is hosting. I think it's still going on right now. So I grabbed a bunch of clips from that for you to share because I got a lot to say about this, let me tell you. So Ron Johnson's hosting a hearing on vaccines and a lot of, just let's get to it. Well, actually, let me tell you first. We're going to be talking about vaccines today for sure. So we got some news on that. Specifically to like Tucker Carlson's coming out about vaccines. So I got something to share with you about that, about this doctor he's had on recently. And did you know that there is bionic sperm being made? Bionic sperm, people. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about it. And today's health topic is really important because I know I've been visiting with a lot of people. By the way, the assessments are just going wonderful, and I just really enjoy spending time with you. But today I'm going to talk about thyroid health because this is, we'll get into it. Let me tell you, this is impacting so many people, and so we really need to address it. So we're going to talk about thyroid health today, and then of course we'll have a naturally inspired moment. We've only got a couple minutes before we're going to head off to break. So let's get the first clip in of these Ron Johnson hearing today on vaccines. Here it is.
Correct. As I imagine to earn a PhD, one must make an original contribution to knowledge as verified by external peer review. That's the degree that I have. And unfortunately, these days, medical school is just a glorified trade school for people trained to obey the pharmaceutical industry. Now, trade schools can be great, but Western allopathic medicine has completely lost its way. But I'm a doctor of philosophy and social sciences.
Okay, I guess we've established your views on the medical profession. I'm curious. I don't know the answer to this question. In some of your Twitter posts, you said, and I'm quoting, "You people are all going to spend eternity in hell. Nuremberg 2 first, then hell." What did you mean by that?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I believe that we are in the midst of one of the greatest crimes in human history. We have a product being injected into children 70 plus times over the course of their development that's never been tested against a proper saline placebo. Over that course of that time period, chronic illness in this country has gone from 10% of children having one or more chronic conditions to now more than 50% of children having one or more chronic conditions.
And he goes on to say there, Secretary Kennedy announced last week in these grueling type hearings that it's now 76% of Americans that are burdened with a chronic disease. That is just unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. I don't have anything else to say other than this is completely unacceptable. And every time I see this guy, this Senator Blumenthal, I tell you, career politician, just dripping just dripping with sleaziness. I'm just going to say it. But big win for my boy, Toby Rogers, PhD. If you don't follow him on Twitter, go follow him. Longtime advocate for medical freedom. And he really showed up today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredраdio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
I want to let you know you can find us on all the platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, everywhere. Jason works so hard to get this out everywhere possible because we struggle with censorship. So do us a favor, follow us on Rumble, share the show with a friend that you think might benefit from it. Follow us on all the social media platforms, especially X. That seems to be the place that I'm least censored. So you can find me at Tammy Cuthbert G or Naturally Inspired Radio. You can find us there. So we're out there. We're just a little bit hard to find, but if you make a real effort to search us or comment on our stuff, you'll find us. I tell you, it's a crazy world when you can't even talk about health. But I know why, and it was more evident today in this hearing, Ron Johnson's hearing. Gosh, I just I want to say this, that it's kind of funny to me that people have been, dogging on Bobby Kennedy for so long. Oh, he's crazy. He's the crazy Kennedy. He's this, he's that. Like, he's been so diligent. It has been a long road since he first found out that vaccines were contributing to not only autism, but dis-ease in the country, in our children. right? And even long term, it affects adults as well. So these guys are not hacks. The Toby Rogers of the world. Toby Rogers got a PhD. Aaron Siri, who you're going to hear from next in a couple of clips here, he's a top-notch lawyer. Bobby Kennedy is an incredible lawyer. Nobody even knows all the cases that he's won because they literally are they're paid to keep them out of the media. He has won cases against big chemical companies. He has won cases against pharma companies. Is this just because you didn't hear it in the news, people think, oh, he's some kind of hack, No. He's cleaned up waterways. His work has been very impactful in a very positive way. And Aaron Siri and him have had a long-time relationship now, I think over 10 years. They've been working together. And I've watched Aaron Siri build up his confidence, his ability. This guy is incredible. Can you imagine the pressure? I'm imagining myself in that room and I can see Toby Rogers, because he's actually pretty hot-headed, on X and stuff. Rightfully so. I mean, I'm right there with him. I totally support him. But I can see him breathing and just being yeah. Me, I'm flipping over tables. I'd be freaking out in there. You don't want me there. Seriously, I'd be so mad. I don't know how they keep it together because it's like a liar looking you right in the face and telling you, well, you did this, or you're an idiot, or did you say this, or did you say that? It's all just to provoke. And, it's just so frustrating. But these guys do such a great job. And let me tell you, we are so lucky that they're on our side and that they have been in this fight from way before COVID. Every time I had one of those guys on my show to talk about vaccine, I'm like, thank you for holding down the fort. Because a lot of these guys have been in this work for and ladies too, right? They've been doing this work for a very long time. And if they hadn't been laying the groundwork this whole time, I can't even imagine where we would be with that COVID vaccine, especially. Can't even imagine. So thank God. But here is Aaron Siri at Ron Johnson's hearing today. So good. Take a listen. This is part 1.
Study of comparing vaccinated versus unvaccinated children. As the trailer you just watched noted, Del Bigtree, ICANN's CEO, had met Dr. Marcus Service at one point, who was the head of infectious disease at Henry Ford Medical Center. And he agreed to meet and to potentially do the study. He is conducts clinical trials for vaccines, including for the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. He's avowedly pro-vaccine. And when we met him, we argued that this was an opportunity to shut the anti-vaxxers up about their claim that unvaccinated children are healthier. To our surprise, Dr. Zervis said he would conduct the study. He recruited a chief epidemiologist and 2 statisticians within Henry Ford to do so. These were mainstream scientists who no doubt held orthodox views regarding vaccines. In early 2020, I received a copy of the study. It showed the results of the analysis comparing children enrolled in Henry Ford from 2000 to 2016 from birth onward who had no vaccines compared to those who had 1 or more vaccines. This study was based on actual medical records, meaning finally a large vaccinated versus unvaccinated study using health data from a major United States health institution, something, as the IOM pointed out, never existed before. The study began by explaining it set out to reduce vaccine hesitancy by assuring parents the CDC vaccine schedule is safe. Instead, what these researchers found was that vaccinated children had 4.29 times the rate of asthma, 3.03 times the rate of atopic disease, 5.96 times the rate of autoimmune disease, and 5.53 times the rate of neurodevelopmental disorders, which included 3.28 times the rate of developmental delay and 4.47 times the rate of speech disorder. All of these findings were statistically significant.
I don't The thing is that a lot of people are going to come to this information and think that this is new. You know, when they finally make the announcement, we were probably days away from this. When they finally make the announcement, you know, that vaccines cause harm. Because they do. People are going to think, oh, new studies, like this just happened. They were just able to find out. No. We have known this now for a very long time. And there has been a concerted effort to cover this type of study up. If you don't know who the grandfather of vaccines is, his name is Stanley Plotkin. And I would highly recommend going and watching that arrogant SOB's videos on YouTube, because it's worth getting a gauge here. These people think they got it all figured out. They're doing what they need to do in the name of science, and the arrogance is amazing. Aaron Siri actually had the opportunity to depose Stanley Plotkin, and I highly recommend watching that deposition. It explains a lot of how we got where we are today with 70 plus injections to kids and censorship if you even say the word vaccine, right? I live it. I live it every day. So you can't tell me they aren't censoring people for even questioning vaccines. Let's go to part 2 of Aaron Siri here, where he explains more about this study.
There was also other conditions for which there were numerous cases in the vaccinated group, but 0 in the unvaccinated group. Hence, a rate cannot be calculated, including brain dysfunction, ADHD, learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and tics. For example, there were 262 cases of ADHD in the vaccinated group, and there were none in the unvaccinated group. In this study, there were around 16,000 kids in the vaccinated group, by the way, and around 2,000 in the unvaccinated group. So the rate, of course, between those is important, and that's what the study compared. These findings were troubling, including because these chronic health issues can be caused by immune system dysregulation, and vaccines can cause immune system dysregulation. Citations for this are in my written submission. Overall, the study found that after 10 years, 17% of the unvaccinated children had a chronic health issue, while 57% of the vaccinated children had at least one chronic health issue, often multiple. That's 17 versus 57%. The only real problem with this study and why it didn't get submitted for publication is that its findings did not fit the belief and the policy that vaccines are safe. Had it found vaccinated children were healthier, it no doubt would have been published immediately. But because it found the opposite, it was shoved in a drawer. We have repeatedly urged Dr. Zervos and Lamaretta to submit the study for publication. They have affirmed the study was well designed and conducted. But Dr. Zervos has said he doesn't want to lose his job. And Dr. Lamaretta has said she does not want to make doctors uncomfortable. This is a real-world example of how the science around vaccines gets corrupted. How only studies that confirm the beliefs and policies that vaccines are safe get published. Everything else gets shoved in a drawer.
We'll talk about this when we come back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. I'm so glad you're here. Stay tuned, because we'll be right back.
Are achy joints holding you back? Are you tired of stiffness slowing you down? It's time to restore with Joint Restore Gummies from Prosper CBD. These delicious strawberry-flavored gummies aren't just tasty. They're designed to soothe joint discomfort, promote flexibility, and help you move freely again. No more messy creams or bitter pills. Just one gummy a day to get you back to doing what you love. Best of all, no prescription needed.
My husband was headed towards knee surgery, and I was having hip pain. A friend recommended these. We tried them, and they worked great. We noticed a difference right away.
Right now, Prosper Wellness is offering a special deal, so don't wait. Go to jointrestore1.com. That's jointrestore1.com. Grab your Joint Restore gummies today. Be sure to use the promo code TAMMY, TAMMY, for 20% off your order.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit c60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code TAMMY at checkout for a special discount.
In the chat, want to shout out to Kevin. Kevin says he loves knowing he's using clean products. It's so overwhelming when you go out to the store and you see even the organic stuff. And let me tell you, organic's not the same organic that it started out as. There's been a lot of lobbying around that, and a lot of monster companies, as I like to call them, right? The megacorp has bought up so many of these little mom and pop organic type of companies that they're now just, they're part of Nestle's portfolio, right? And then they advocate and they lobby to get things changed, to loosen regulations on organic and whatnot. We're to the point now where you really can't just trust organic when it comes in a bag or a box or a can or a jar. I mean, you really can't. And so when you go out to the store and you see this huge wall of stuff, it's like, what do I buy? Right? What do I buy? What's good? That's just one of the perks, of being in the naturally inspired community. And Kevin's enjoying that. He's a part of our community, and, he comes to the classes on Tuesday nights, and he's just loving knowing that, what he's putting in his body is clean, which is, I think that's a big issue for so many people. I was talking to somebody last night, and he's like, I'm getting afraid of my food. I'm getting afraid of my food because you just don't know what's in it. So connect where you can to good sources. Of course, we always talk about Pumpkin Creek Ranch on here. They're a wonderful provider of beef. If you can't get something natural, in the store, this is a great way to do it, is connect to pumpkincreekranchco.com. Anyway, the assessments are going great. And if you want to figure out what could be standing in the way for you when it comes to achieving your optimum health, just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and book an assessment with me. Or if hey, I need to clean up my products, then check out all our products, our line of product at naturallyinspiredstore.com rather. Oh boy. It fires me up to see this stuff. I just want to reiterate some of the things here. I could have played that whole, it was like a 15-minute clip. But it was just, it's too long to play. But I want to make sure that everybody understands that, health problems in this study that was performed, which was like, I think he says in the clip, it's over 14,000 kids that participated in this study at Henry Ford. And what they found was that the vaxxed kids were 57% of them had problems with their health. So whether it was autoimmune issues, respiratory issues, chronic illness, where they get colds all the time, that type of thing, and ADHD and all these other things, 57% of the vaxxed group versus 17% of the unvaxxed group. Now, that's not a little difference. And further in the clip, he says, in the unvaxxed group, there was no ADHD. None. I think, we're here, right? I think we can all agree now. Really, I think we can all agree that these things are doing a ton of damage. And it's not the only thing. I want to make sure, I'm talking a lot about vaccines today. So I want to make sure that you understand it's not just vaccines, but man, this is going to make a big impact in health when these things get figured out. I've always said, I'm not here to take your vaccines away, but I'll tell you, an informed public makes informed choices. And that's the very best thing that we can hope for. Because regulating things, legislating things, giving the government more control over anything is a bad idea. It's just a bad, bad idea. Because we know politicians can be influenced. We know whole parties of politics can be influenced, right? I mean, this is like why we have so many problems today. And so that's not a good idea to give them more power. Not a good idea at all. So the solution to this is an informed citizenry. It's an informed public, right? And it isn't just about the injections, although you don't inject health. I say it all the time. You curate health through your lifestyle, right? And also one of the big variables that nobody talks about in terms of how we've, gotten rid of a lot of disease is sanitation, right? We don't throw our poop in the street anymore. We don't, it's just, we're a lot cleaner. And so that has contributed to a healthier population. And I think vaccines have actually taken a lot of the credit for that when it comes to infectious diseases. They've been given the credit for that, when in actuality, a lot of the science points towards sanitation. So we've got a lot to discover here. But there's other things that we have to keep in mind too, like our food, right? These dyes that just recently have been taken out of our food supply, they've not been allowed in other countries for years or ever been allowed in some countries. The same food that you put in your kid's lunch or your grandkid's lunch or whatever, you think, oh, they want these great fruit gummies and they love Star Wars, so I'm going to buy them. Unbeknownst to you that they actually contain, poison, essentially, to the little body they're going into, because we have scientific studies that show that some of these dyes cause ADHD, they cause inflammation in the body, they contribute to a lot of health outcomes that our little ones are experiencing, and even big people too, So there's the food aspect. And then, I know I keep bringing it up. I bring it up almost every day. I know. But the technology piece, you guys, this is a big part of our health. And it's even a bigger part of our kids' health, because Man, I have seen some disturbing videos. Let me tell you, disturbing videos of kids in China who, they're essentially being taught and trained through screens. Little kids, they're doing all their schooling, and I'm talking like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And these kids are on the screen so much that when they get the screen taken away, they throw tantrums. And there's just the saddest video of this little boy who's actually sleeping and dreaming. And as he's dreaming, he's swiping. He's making the motion of TikTok. I call that TikTok brain. It's the kind of like this, because think about it. They've always called, TV shows programming, right? This is our programming. You enjoy our programming. Well, it used to be, the whole family sat down and watched a television show, and, it got turned on and turned off. Then I think TV kind of went to something that was in the background all the time. And that was programming not only the information, right, that we're hearing, but also the constant input of information coming from it. Even if it's on in the background, right? People don't realize everything you hear and everything you see goes into your subconscious. You may not recognize it with your conscious mind at the time, but if you're listening to it, it's on in the background, blah, 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 just kind of like noise. That's all going into your subconscious. And at some point, I don't think we were actually wired to be consuming as much information as we're consuming. It is causing anxiety. It's causing anxiety in adults. Can you imagine what it's doing to our little people's brains, right? Where you get on this earth and everything's new, right? You're taking in light, you're taking in color, you're taking in texture, you're taking in tone, you're taking in nature, you're taking in other humans, like input. And then you put this portal in front of them, AKA screen or phone, and you can get input after input, second. And every one of those new inputs is creating a chemical reaction in your brain to the point where you got runaway brain. But now let's think about your little ones. Most of them don't know how to articulate anxiety. They don't know how to articulate depression or feelings of being overwhelmed. No, that all gets labeled ADHD and other things, diseases, so that they can be medicated. Got to put a stop to this. Stay tuned, everybody. Up next, your naturally inspired moment. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. I'm so glad you're here.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
I think I had mentioned to you that the assessments, my time that I'm spending with you, they're going really well. And I'm really enjoying spending time with you and getting to hear from you and just being able to interact as a community. It's wonderful. You know, I don't give medical advice, but I do help people connect to real solutions for health, right? I'll send you a study. I'll point you in the right direction. I'll tell you what I know. Because ultimately, you know, we got to be in charge of our health. I don't want anybody dependent on me. I want to help you. I want to facilitate a community where people feel empowered and confident in the decisions that they're making, because that is how we change the medical model, right? It's when you can, if you have to go to a doctor at any time, but you mostly have your health under your own, you know, control. So you got to go to a doctor for broke a leg or something. You know, emergency medicine is one thing. But when you walk in there, you're informed and you go, yeah, what is that? You know, that's what's the end in mind with that, doc? If you're going to put me on these pain meds, how am I getting off of them? What are we going to, like, that's the type of community I want to empower, because that's how you need to be in this world. Our medical system has been captured. And so many of you, I think, are finding space here at Naturally Inspired because you're sick of it. And I don't blame you. I got sick of it a long time ago. You can see the writing on the wall, right? It's like an assembly line. You go in, oh, take this pill, do this. Yep. I mean, and I think it's really bad now. I think it's as worse as it's ever been. Because back in the day, I was starting to see that, and I haven't been through that system. And, you know, my son's like 22. So like 20 years, I think we've been out of that system. And it was getting that way then. So I can, and you're telling me it is bad. You feel like you're a cow, you know, just pulling up to the trough, and they're going to tell you, take this pill, take that pill. Here you go, get this procedure. So I get it. The question is, what do we do now? And I think one of the things we do is we take personal power, personal responsibility back for our health. And we engage in a community like Naturally Inspired so that we can feel supported, you know, and that's what it's going to take to get our confidence back. So if that sounds good to you, head on over to naturallyinspiredstore.com, book your free 30-minute consultation with me, assessment, and then get into the community and take full advantage of all of the topics. Tonight, we are talking about hydration. A lot of myths around hydration, you know, just drink a lot of water. You remember seeing those like big gym boys or whatever walk around with a big gallon of, you know, plain water. It turns out that doesn't hydrate, right? You need electrolytes in there. You need salt. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be having a special guest too that's going to talk about clean water and what you need to know about maybe even your city's water. So it's going to be a good thing tonight. So if you decide, I want to catch that, head on over to Naturally Inspired store and just become a customer. And then text me and let me know I became a customer. I'll send you the link to join us tonight. 720-303-8868 is my text line. Let's get to the naturally inspired moment. Okay. Because I see patterns. You know, I've worked with hundreds of people now over the years, and I see patterns. And there's a common pattern with a lot of people that they believe that they just have to suffer to be successful. And I think that's in part due to like Hollywood and even fairy tales, you know, books that we were read as kids and whatnot, where there's there's an arc, right, of the story where, you know, the character is kind of down and out, and then it goes up and he gets really bad, and then, you know, he's successful in the end, right? That hero's arc, their hero's journey, I think they call it. So I get where it comes from, but you know, some of y'all are beating yourself up unnecessarily. And I want to make sure you're not. Because you don't have to inflict suffering upon yourself in order to be successful, especially when it comes to your health. So today's naturally inspired moment is 5 ways to detect if you think that you have to suffer in order to be successful. Number 1, you feel guilty when things come easily. Maybe even, if they're too easy, you'll make them harder. You know? If you find yourself doubting your progress when something flows, it may be because you equate struggle with worth. And I think this is a commonality between a lot of us. Number 2, you downplay joy or fun. So you believe success only counts if it's earned, right? And you earn it through hardship. Often it often makes you dismiss lightness or dismiss play or ease as not serious enough. Number 3, you overwork even when results don't improve. You know, I'm going to do this harder. And you may be creating more damage, right, than you are doing good. So you grind past the point of productivity is a strong sign that you've tied your value to how much you can endure, right? I'm strong. Let me tell you, I've played that game before because I'm a Gen Xer and I basically had teenagers as parents. So, you know, I'm very strong. Let me tell you, I'm so strong. But guess what? You don't have to inflict pain on yourself to prove to others that you're strong, or even to prove to yourself that you're strong. Don't do that. It doesn't have to be like that. Number 4, you compare your struggles to others. So if you measure your progress by how much harder you've worked or suffered compared to someone else, you may be operating from the success equals suffering mindset. Number 5, you avoid support. You don't like asking for help. You don't need help. You're strong. Turns out, you guys, that strong people know when they need help and they're strong enough to ask for it because, you know, it can be hard to ask for help when you are an extremely independent person. And let me tell you, conservatives, that's the one thing, you know, that the left has on conservatives. I'll tell you that because they can pull themselves together and hug and be like, oh, I'm here for your support, diversity, blah, 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 right? Oh, love. And conservatives were more like, yeah, do it. Come on. You know, get your shiz together, pull yourself up. You're tough. You got it. Like, that's kind of how we tend to be. And therefore, we're very independent. And we think, you know, I don't really need that. I just want to go about my business, do my work, and I'll get her done. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do that way. It isn't all or nothing, right? You don't have to be this lovey-dovey, all diversity, peace, love, harmony, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be that way just to get support. There is support in community. There's support in, you know, good relationships, friendships, and there is nothing wrong with reaching out for help like that. In fact, you don't need to suffer in silence, because I guarantee you there are many other people going through exactly what you're going through, And so don't. Why bother? Let's at least, come together and recognize, hey, we got these same issues. We can at least laugh about it and try to figure out some solutions, right? Instead of suffering in silence. So when you reject help or mentorship or tools that could make things easier, it's often because you believe struggle is the price of real achievement. Let me tell you, you've struggled enough. Life ain't easy. Things come up, life events come up. It is not easy. Nobody's sailing through life with all rainbows and unicorns, And so don't make it harder. It isn't going to improve your results to make yourself suffer more. And I guess a good example of this is, fasting has been a very big, popular thing in recent years. And don't get me wrong, fasting is an awesome tool. It helps, with inflammation. It helps with insulin levels. But I've been talking to way too many people that are fasting now for 22, 23 hours. And then they're going days without eating. It's not a matter of, more is better when it comes to fasting. There's not a huge difference of benefit between a 16-hour fast and, an 18-hour fast. And it depends on your goals as well. If you are really, really sick, say you have something, really bad, really, really something that needs addressing. I shouldn't say bad, but acute, right? That this has got to get fixed right now. Then yes, fasting can be used by practitioners with you to help you, get certain results quickly. But I promote longevity, right? Sustainability. You've got to be able, you're building a lifestyle here. And if you're going to, beat yourself up and go 24, 48, longer hours every week not eating, you are not going to be able to sustain that. And the good news is you don't need to get the results that you want. Sure, do a 24-hour fast once a month or whatever. Eat in an intermittent window, right? Intermittent fasting where you do 8 hours of eating, 16 of fasting. Totally. But don't take it too far, because suffering does not equal results. Today's Naturally Inspired Moment, 5 ways to detect if you think you have to suffer to be successful. Stay tuned, everybody. We're coming up with hour 2, and we'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
I have to laugh because in the chat here, somebody in their community just texted me and said, was that about me? Was that about me? No, it wasn't really. It wasn't targeted at any one person. I tell you, I see patterns. This is how, like, we are so much more the same than we think we are. We're over here thinking, I'm the only one that thinks that. I'm the only one that has this problem. I'm the only one that this happens to. This is the only way. I know. Like, I've been there, done that. Like, I know what's the reason why I know is because I've done that. So, like, this is me. A lot of this stuff is what I've had to go through, and what I've learned from helping other people as well. So no, it's not targeted at any one person. But man, if it resonates, maybe it should, right? So, there you have it. Anyway, welcome back to Hour 2. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad that you're joining me today. We were talking in the first hour a lot about this. Senator Ron Johnson had another vaccine hearing, and, all of the Democrats there are attacking Aaron Siri. And thank goodness for PhDs like Toby Rogers and others who are there testifying today on all of our behalfs, gosh, it's insane. So this next story I want to bring to you is very relevant because Dr. Scott Gottlieb, like, I just see it like they're rolling out all their people on mainstream media to try to save some face, right? It ain't gonna work. Like, everybody's on to you. Only the really, I don't know, slow people. I don't know. I'm trying to be nice here, but only the people who have really have been brainwashed, I guess you could say, they're the only ones you got left on your side. Everybody else. I mean, yeah, maybe I'm extreme. Maybe you're extreme to some people or whatever. Not really, but to the newbies, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maybe our opinions are extreme to the newbies, the people who are just, well, yeah, maybe we should tailor back some vaccines. That kind of does seem like a lot to give a little baby, that type of person. Maybe we may seem extreme, but I don't even know who's left. That's like, yes, give me my vaccines. I want 47 today. I don't think there's too many people left like that, but maybe, I don't know. So anyway, they're fighting back. They're going on mainstream TV. And this is Dr. Scott Gottlieb, of course, former FDA commissioner, right? Now Pfizer, head of Pfizer. Took him all of 83 days, you guys, 83 days coming out of the FDA to get a position with Pfizer. And he ain't the only one. Revolving door all the time, been going on for decades, you guys. Take a listen to this guy. He seems a little nervous. I don't know. He doesn't seem as confident old Scott that we used to see when COVID vaxes were flying all over the place. Listen to this.
Questions is Kennedy raising that are different, you think, than what President Trump raised?
Well, it's not the questions he's raising. It's the instruments he's putting in place to start restricting access to vaccines, getting control of the ACIP committee at CDC. He's going to put on the next agenda the hepatitis B vaccine. We all know he's looking at MMRV vaccine, trying to obviate use of the MMRV vaccine, which is measles, mumps, rubella, and varicella. I believe he's going to claim in his autism report that there's an association between alum, which is the adjuvant used in most pediatric vaccines, and autism, which is going to set in place a litigation enterprise against the vaccines to potentially bankrupt the vaccine injury compensation program. So that could take down the whole pediatric vaccine enterprise. And he's been very systematic, very methodical, frankly, very effective, putting in place the people and the tools he needs to try to effectuate this goal. Look, he is an avowed anti-vaxxer. He spent 2 decades doing this. Sometimes you have to take people at their word. I think this is a mission of his, and there really hasn't been a lot of pushback until now, and this is mostly rhetorical pushback. No one's really stopped him from implementing these instruments of control.
When you say bring down the entire pediatric vaccine schedule, what do you mean?
Well, look, if he makes a move to say that there is a purported link between alum and the entire pediatric schedule, that adjuvant used in about 10 vaccines is no good alternative. He could force the vaccine manufacturers to try to reformulate the vaccines, decouple them. So instead of having MMR, you have measles, mumps, and rubella separately. Remember, we're in a situation right now, we're seeing declining vaccination rates. Last year, we had 35,000 cases of pertussis. The year before, it was 5,000. This year, we're expecting upwards of 75,000. So you're starting to see the vaccination rates declining, and you're starting to see the implications of that in terms of more disease. I think he's going to systematically go after, try to force manufacturers to reformulate and
Listen, they are telling you right there on the screen what they care about. Drug stocks. Drug stocks. Oh, this stock is up. This stock is down. This stock. We're talking about, wait a minute. I thought these were life-saving medical interventions, biologics. I thought they weren't products, that they were biologics. I thought that, this was like life-saving and it's all about your health and you got to get it and it's safe and effective. But also look at the stock market. I'm telling you, after researching for as many years as I have researched, where I find my best stories about drugs and pharma, places like Forbes, places like, Motley Fool stocks, the financial sector. If you truly want to know what's going on with drugs, you'll look at the financial sector. That's where you find the truth, right? That's where you find what's trending and why. We're going to see it followed, I'm sure, pretty soon here with Ozempic, because guess what? They have now started a big lawsuit, right? Class action lawsuit. Why? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. Maybe stomach paralysis, maybe like, I don't know, uncontrollable vomiting. They have some warnings on the drugs already to do that correlate to thyroid disruption, many other things. So we're going to see some change in the stock there. Even Serena Williams becoming the spokesperson for Ozempic. I don't know that she can save it. I don't know. I think that, sadly, very sadly, Ozempic is a predatory drug because it's actually preying upon people that are so desperate to lose weight that they're willing to inject themselves with poison in order to do it. That's very predatory, right? And no informed consent is happening. It's highly unlikely that doctors are sitting down and going, did you know that this is made from actual venom and that it will cause stomach paralysis? And that actually what helps you lose weight is the fact that your stomach doesn't really work. And so, voila, you just don't feel like eating. But it's great because you get skinny. Disgusting. It's disgusting. They're making people fat. It is not your fault. The world is not set up for you to be fit and thin. No. The world is set up for you to be a consumer. I call us super consumers now because it's just like we just consume. And you can thank people like Edward Bernays for that model. Right? Where Edward Bernays took it upon himself, like the nephew of Sigmund Freud, to develop a model to tie your emotions to buying things. And that's how commercials started, right? Tying your emotions. Like, you don't just need one pair of boots. You're American. Buy 5. But no joke. That was the change. Because prior to that, Americans thought, well, I need a pair of boots for the winter. Maybe I need some lighter boots for the summer and a coat and one sweater and a pair of pants. And, you buy another pair when those ones wear out. And it wasn't till the propaganda machine, the commercialization of consuming went into full gear that people were like, I need 10 pants. I need 15 pants. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I'm not sitting here on my high horse. I got way too many clothes. I love clothes. I love fashion, but I have too many, right? So that's what's happening here. This guy is now being rolled out to try to save it. And he looks worried. Rightfully so, because let me tell you, it is an enterprise. And he's saying RFK is shooting to take down the whole pediatric vaccine enterprise. Yes, we are, Scott, because our kids are sicker than they've ever been. And we got to do something about it. Poor Scott. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredраdio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
I want to tell you, yesterday I think it was, and even last week, we were talking about the MTHFR gene quite a bit. And if you want to find out if you have that, I mean, you can just make sure you're getting your vitamins methylated. But I mean, if you really want to know if that's an issue for you, you can find out with livingwellnutrition.com. Dr. Christy Hall, I've had her on, several times. I'm sure she's be coming up on our schedule here soon again. But she's the one that you need to connect with. livingwellnutrition.com. Dr. Christy Hall. She's wonderful. And she's been able to, she'll send you a kit where you can do a little swab. I did it, spit in a tube type of thing. And she'll send it off to get tested, and then she'll meet with you and she'll tell you all the different things that you should be eating, that you should avoid, all of that thing. And I know the MTHFR gene thing has been in the news a lot lately. So I just want to make sure people know that that's what you can do as well. So livingwellnutrition.com. You can reach Dr. Christy Hall there. Two things I want to point out about this Scott Gottlieb. He says, it's the arrogance, It gets me sometimes. It just really, really irks me because they're not even hiding the money part of it. He's telling you it's a vaccine enterprise. It's weird because we're supposed to swallow it because it's a biologic and it's a necessity, but it's also an enterprise. And he said something interesting too, that Bobby Kennedy has taken over the, quote, instruments of control. Ah, that's very interesting. So you're saying that agencies like the HHS, the FDA, the CDC, those are instruments of control. See, that's not what you're telling us all the time. You're telling us that we live in a free country. You're telling us that we're free here and that we're able to make our own decisions and whatnot. Oh, well, wait a minute here. I don't really like that term, that there's instruments of control. I don't like that, Scott. And Scott used to be the FDA commissioner, as I said before. Took him 83 days to get into Pfizer. And I think he's actually this is his second round in Pfizer, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was in Pfizer before he went into the FDA, and then he's back to Pfizer. These guys are career pharmaceutical pushers. That's what they do. The other thing he said was that, oh my gosh, he might make us separate them. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb, but doesn't it make sense to separate them? You have this tiny little precious baby. They're so little, and you're just jabbing them 3, 4, 5, combos at a time. This doesn't feel right to me. And you can sit here and say, well, it's not about, it's the science says. No, the science doesn't actually, because all these kids, 1 in 36 are getting, diagnosed with autism. We got ADHD off the freaking charts. We got kids with food allergies that never had food allergies before. No, I'm sorry. Your science doesn't work here. You know why? Because your science is bought. And we know. We know. So you know what? You can do whatever you want with your products, but you're not going to make us take them. So I think your best bet would be at least tell people you're going to separate them. But this guy's even resistant to that because this is going to be a complete overhaul to their inventory. And this is probably going to really wreck their bottom line. I think a great thing to do would be just to repeal the Act 1986 that Reagan put in place, where he gave vaccines indemnity, where he, allowed them to be protected by the label of biologics and not, a pharmaceutical. Because any other drug, they don't get away with this. But because vaccines are considered biologics, they do get away with this. They have complete liability protection unless they didn't go through the proper channels, unless they didn't actually do the trials that they claim they did. That could be a problem. There might be a few people out there that worked in the testing and trialing type of arena that have some information on that. I just wonder, what's going to come out over the next couple of years. We're days away from something for sure, but I think it's going to be a slow unraveling, unfortunately. So you know what? The best advice I could give anybody that was having a baby right now, wait. Just wait. What you got to lose, Kid's not going to be using any hypodermic needles. They're probably not going in any seedy bars or getting with prostitutes or anything like that. So you know what? Why not? Just wait. Just wait. You'll be so glad you did. That brings me to my next topic. This one's pretty interesting. Tucker Carlson, he's been fired up. Fired up since I think he was enlightened, I guess you could say, of the ways of the world. I think he, he was living in DC, living on, and I don't know, Tucker's dad. I don't know. I like Tux. I like Tucker. I do. I know a lot of people like he's controlled opposition or whatever. I don't know. I like Tux. And his dad definitely worked for the CIA. And so who knows, right? Who knows? But anyway, he's doing some good work right now, in my opinion. He had Dr. Kirk Moore on recently. And listen to what they have to say, what they're talking about here with that dang hepatitis B vaccine they want to get in your baby the very first minute they're alive, practically. Take a listen.
One of birth. You were an at-risk person because you were dealing with body fluids as a physician.
Correct.
Right. And you can be infected. But why? But now, in the 35 years since, it's required for every child born in the United States.
Yes. They get one on day one of birth. They get another one a month later, and they get another one 6 months later. And that's because it's a captive audience. That's the only reason. How many babies are going to be IV drug abusers or go out have unprotected sex? Or get a blood transfusion from somebody who's infected? And by the way, some of the pediatricians will tell you, well, mom could have had hepatitis B, and therefore you're trying to prevent the baby from getting it. Well, mom was tested for hepatitis during her pregnancy, so you would have known if they had hepatitis and hepatitis B, and so then you would have been able to either treat it or do something about it, or maybe prophylax the baby.
Why would pediatricians go along with that?
To put it bluntly, money.
Why are they allowed to practice medicine with those attitudes?
No,
I'm serious. Why doesn't the FBI raid their offices? If they're giving infants treatment that the infant doesn't need that has potentially harmful consequences, and they're doing it for money, then they're criminals.
You're absolutely right. And not only are they doing it for money, but they don't even know what it is that they're doing. Do you know there's 2 hepatitis B vaccines that are in the United States right now, that are in use? Do you know what the long-term, the follow-up study on those 2 hepatitis B vaccines is?
No.
4 days for one, 5 days for the other. 4-day follow-up on one, 5-day follow-up.
Where's the longitudinal study?
They haven't done it.
How can that be?
That's the vaccine industry.
That is the vaccine industry. That is why any level-headed, common sense thinking, 2 brain cells, able to rub together type of practitioner that actually takes the time to look at the data, this is what they come to. The truth, which is there's no reason for this. And, I would just love the data on, baby after baby after baby that's born healthy, doing well, and then suddenly they have jaundice. And you got to wonder. There's a lot to discover here. I believe, my belief system in health is rooted in traditional Chinese medicine, with the understanding that we have detox pathways. We have mechanisms in our body to naturally detox. And when we are overtoxed, we get congestion in the body. So think of your detox pathways like a bunch of highway in your body, going here, going there, right? And even on a smaller scale, at the cellular level, it's also kind of like a highway. The mitochondria in the middle is the energy source, and it keeps everything running. When it starts to get unhealthy, then you get inflammation and you get dis-ease in the body. So the idea here is keeping all the detox pathways going. The problem is when you're injecting poison, the detox pathways get congested, and then you get dysfunction in the body, right? So if you can control what you're putting in the body, toxicity wise, and you can keep those detox pathways open, you don't have a lot of problems. You were designed to thrive. You are capable. You were made whole. You got it. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are achy joints holding you back? Are you tired of stiffness slowing you down? It's time to restore with Joint Restore Gummies from Prosper CBD. These delicious strawberry-flavored gummies aren't just tasty, they're designed to soothe joint discomfort, promote flexibility, and help you move freely again. No more messy creams or bitter pills. Just one gummy a day to get you back to doing what you love. Best of all, no prescription needed.
My husband was headed towards knee surgery, and I was having hip pain. A friend recommended these. We tried them, and they worked great. We noticed a difference right away.
Right now, Prosper Wellness is offering a special deal, so don't wait. Go to jointrestore1.com. That's jointrestore1.com. Grab your Joint Restore gummies today. Be sure to use the promo code TAMMY, TAMMY, for 20% off your order.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit C60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code TAMMY at checkout for a special discount.
Hey, if you know anyone that suffered a stroke, has cognitive issues, head injury, that type of thing, here's what I would tell you to do. I would connect with liveO2.com. Just check it out. Okay. I had never really heard of like oxygen training. I've heard of hyperbaric chambers, all that stuff, but not oxygen training. And Mark Squibb has developed a device, a system rather, that delivers oxygen-rich performance right to you at home. You can do it at home. It helps you boost your energy. It helps you recover faster. So many different things. And so it's like supercharging your body from the inside out, and he gets results. So learn more at liveO2.com. That's liveO2.com. Or you can call Mark 970-658-2789. That's 970-658-2789. Speaking of working out, I got a great testimonial from our friend Peggy. She tried the pre-workout and she loved it. Let me get to it. She sent it in on the text line here. She said, I tried the pre-workout mix yesterday for her Pound Fit workout, and she was shocked that it helped her so much. She was able to complete way more of the program with much less muscle cramps. So amazing, she said. I'm definitely going to be ordering those. Thanks so much. Yeah, I forgot about the pre-workout. It's really good. That's the awesome thing. You discover these different products, and you can trust them because they're good, they're clean. Like, this company's been around since 1956. They're not messing around. They were green before it was cool to be green. They give you a money back guarantee. Like, it's all the things. So it's a great place to, your go-to place for your health products. So just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and you can find and connect to us all of the products, the wonderful products that we talk about here each and every day on Naturally Inspired Radio. This stuff just, there's no explanation for this, this vaccinating your kid for hepatitis B on the first day of life. It does not correlate with best practices whatsoever. It's going to be an interesting time. I'm here for it. And I know you are too. This revolving door of, pharmaceutical to government. It's got to stop. It's created in large part this giant mess that we're in. And I feel bad because, these parents, these young parents, they are a captive audience. You got your baby in the hospital. Very difficult to tell a white coat doctor and a pushy nurse, I'm not doing that. I've heard horror stories of people that have had to deal with Child Protective Services because they refused vaccines in the hospital. So I get it. But the good news is that things are changing, and there are birth centers now available. Instead of hospitals, there's birth centers, there's midwives, there's doulas. Like, it's going to take a while to reconstruct a viable system for health, but I believe we are in the middle of it. I believe we are really, it's already started. We have to be careful too, because, when we are so fixated on what's wrong with the system, this guy's the doctors are doing it for money. And yes, I think there are doctors that definitely do it for the money. I mean, can you imagine the debt out of medical school is probably tremendous, right? So I get them having to make money, but I don't like lumping everybody into the same category. I think there's a large part of the population of physicians that just don't know. That wasn't their area of focus when it came. I was just talking to somebody the other day with thrombocytopenia who is being, told that she needs to get a flu shot. Guys, flu shots cause thrombocytopenia. And she has thrombocytopenia, and the doctor is telling her to get flu shots because she must get them because she's, compromised. So I think they just don't know. A lot of them don't know. Now, should they know? Absolutely, they should know. But I'm saying they don't. So it's not necessarily like malfeasance, they're not trying to hurt people. So anyway, my point is, real quick, because I want to get on to the next story. It's interesting, and we have a health topic, and we got a lot of things to talk about. My point is that guess what will replace doctors? It'll be AI systems. You know what I mean? So if they can get us all charged up about hating doctors and, F the system and all that stuff, well, that creates the perfect stage for ushering in artificial intelligence when it comes to medical care. And that's a whole nother ball of wax, right? Because that's surveillance stuff. And I'm not saying, I don't know what the solution is, but I'm just saying, be careful. Careful what you tear down, because it could lead to something worse. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Anyway, I got to talk about bionic sperm. Yep, I said it. Did you ever think you would say bionic sperm, people? I probably didn't. I probably couldn't have guessed that I'd be talking about bionic sperm, but it is a story in Newsweek today. Scientists in the Netherlands have transformed sperm cells into microscopic robots in a move that could transform the future of fertility. I think I want to throw up. The team from the University of Twente in the Netherlands encased sperm encased sperm cells in magnetic nanoparticles, and this allowed the sperm to both be tracked in real time using X-ray imaging, but also to be manipulated by the application of magnetic fields, alongside helping scientists to image and better understand what happens inside the body during fertilization, which could be used to improve IVF techniques. The sperm microbots could also find application in target drug delivery with the body. Sperm cells are among biology's fastest and most agile swimmers, uniquely suited to navigate the complex environment of the female reproductive tract. But their very small size and low density have long made them nearly invisible to traditional imaging tools such as X-ray until now. Visualizing sperm inside the body was nearly impossible, lead author explains. To solve this, working alongside researchers from Radboud University Medical Center and the University of Waterloo in Canada, coated live sperm cells with magnetic nanoparticles. This coating makes the cells visible under X-ray, while also responsive to external magnetic fields, also allowing researchers to steer them in real time through a life-sized anatomical model. I don't know about you, but I just think we're getting into some really dangerous territory here when we are synthesizing reproduction. I mean, we've been doing IVF for a long time. We've been, using all these other modalities to try to help people with fertility. And I feel like we just don't talk enough about this. Why are we having such a hard time reproducing? Why are we having such a hard time getting pregnant? We need an answer to that. Instead of finding an answer to that and restoring natural function, right? Because it's natural. It's the way the world works, right? Instead of working to restore natural function, we have this tendency to just create something entirely new, synthetic form of the thing that happens naturally. And it just so happens, that you can put patents on stuff like that. And you can't patent the reproduction of humans when it's taking place in your natural. Although, I don't know. The porn industry is something, but you know what I'm saying. You can't patent that. And so you can't put it behind a gate and require people to pay to get to it until people are so sick that their natural God-given ability to reproduce doesn't work anymore. And then they get real desperate because in our heart of hearts, we know that's in large part, a big part of our meaning of our life is to have children. And then people will pay whatever it takes. And I think that's where we're headed here. They're anticipating no reproduction. Stay tuned, everybody. Your health topic coming up next. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
I want to share with you about my daily detox. That's Greska's C60. We're bombarded with toxins every single day, and C60 is a pure, powerful carbon molecule that helps remove those toxins. It supports healthy cells and keeps you feeling your best. You can order at c60.com. That's c60.com, c60.com. Or you can just call Bob or Sam. They're at 720-600-6040. That's 720-600-6040. Don't forget to use promo code Tammy for a special discount. For today's health topic, I want to talk about some known causes of thyroid dysfunction, and then we'll get into some solutions as well. So I want to just hit this because I know this is a very popular topic, and I want to make sure we have as much time as we can to get into it. So number one, you may not know this, chronic stress and type A personality make you more susceptible to having thyroid issues. So there's high evidence, okay? There's lots of evidence that high drive perfectionist type A personality traits are linked to elevated cortisol and sympathetic dominance, which can blunt TSH signaling and reduce the conversion from T4 to T3. So chronic adrenaline states also impair nutrient absorption. So that further compounds the problem, of course. So the thyroid is highly sensitive to stress hormones, and unresolved trauma or high intensity personality patterns can keep this, HPA axis on guard. And so, yeah, type A personalities, and I think, a lot of us recognize we're type A when we're younger, but I'm not sure we recognize the long-term consequences of being type A, because it doesn't really hit you until you get into your 40s and 50s. That's when your bucket starts overflowing and you're not bailing it out fast enough anymore, to make room, to make more space for all the pressures that you've been putting upon yourself. So check in with that. If you have thyroid dysfunction, are you type A personality? Okay? Because there's things that you can do to support your type A personality and make it a little easier on yourself. Okay? Number two is mitochondrial dysfunction. Okay. So low mitochondrial efficiency impairs ATP production, and thyroid hormones are major regulators of mitochondrial activity. So dysfunction can create a vicious cycle of poor thyroid signaling, which weakens the mitochondria, which then undermines thyroid hormone activation. So that's why I talk about the cellular reset all the time, because you are like, cellular health is where it's at. You want to talk root cause of dis-ease in the body, you got to talk at the cellular level. So what are you doing to support your mitochondria? And even more importantly, what are you putting in your body that may be not supporting your mitochondria, right? Things like those nasty seed oils that create so much inflammation, those ultra processed foods, right, that create inflammation, high stress, right? That also creates inflammation. Blue light creates inflammation, So there's a lot of different variables. And listen, you can't control them all. But there's a lot you can control, and you can lessen the burden. What you're putting in your mouth is huge. What you're exposing yourself to, right? Get some blue light glasses. Easy fix, right? At least it's not going to eliminate all your blue light exposure, but it's going to help. Getting out in nature, right? Getting the vitamin D into your eyeballs. This is all helpful in supporting your mitochondria. So your habits supporting your mitochondria, they got to be more than what you're exposing yourself to. You know what I'm saying? Another one you might not know is gut dysbiosis and hidden infections. Okay. So about 20% of T4 is converted to T3 in the gut. So dysbiosis, SIBO or H. pylori or chronic yeast infections, that can reduce this conversion. So also an endotoxin from bacteria also triggers systemic inflammation that disrupts your thyroid receptor sensitivity. So you could have this like low underlying infection, right? That's been going on for a long time. And maybe you're not even aware of it. It could be like low grade and you've had it so long that you don't even realize. So that's something to look at, right? Something to really take a look at. Number 4, environmental toxin load. So bromide, fluoride, chlorine, they compete with iodine uptake in the thyroid. Heavy metals like mercury, cadmium, they bind thyroid proteins, while pesticides and plastics act as endocrine disruptors, which of course I've talked about that a lot, right? And, we're synergistic. And I think sometimes we forget about that because our medical model has chosen to become compartmentalized, right? You go to an endocrinologist for your hormone issues, you go to a heart doctor for your heart, but the truth is that you're synergistic. And it's kind of like a domino effect, especially when it comes to hormones. It's like one thing goes off and it's down the line, So you don't have to focus on that. Focus on just like living a healthy lifestyle, because guess what? When you start taking the stuff out and you start putting good stuff in, just the way it fell out of line like dominoes, it stacks back up. Okay? This is a big one that nobody wants to deal with and acknowledge. Unresolved trauma and your nervous system dysregulation. The vagus nerve, right, which have talked about a lot on here, influences thyroid blood flow and hormone release. So past trauma can lock the body in sympathetic overdrive, suppressing your thyroid function. And studies show is a risk factor of autoimmune Hashimoto's. Okay? Trauma. So like you think, I got over my childhood trauma a long time ago. Maybe, but maybe you're still replicating some of those patterns of the way you think. And those are producing similar, repetitive results. And that creates stress, right? The body keeps score. I say that all the time. It's a book title, but I mean, it's so true. Just because you think your mind is over something doesn't mean your body has actually released it. So somatic treatment, really good massage therapist that's trained can help release emotions through somatic massage and somatic movement. Frequency. music. You are at in control of triggering your vagus nerve just through, like I say all the time, gargling, singing, humming. That can help bring your parasympathetic system into coherence. So consider that, consider, maybe process some of that trauma, write it down. You don't have to tell anybody if you don't want to tell somebody. Sometimes just writing it down is enough. Just get it out. Get it out of the body, allow yourself to release it. Number 6 is nutrient imbalances beyond iodine, because I know everybody thinks iodine immediately when they think thyroid, but unknown to many is selenium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and vitamin D. They all play pivotal roles in thyroid hormone conversion and receptor function. So even subtle deficiencies can mimic hypothyroidism. Number 7, immune system confusion, with molecular mimicry. So gluten, dairy proteins, certain viral antigens like EBV resemble thyroid issues. And this can trigger the immune system to attack both, leading to autoimmune issues with your thyroid without clear warning signs. Okay, so now all the problems, what do we do about them? Well, stress and type A personality, you gotta build time in for your parasympathetic activation. So transcendental meditation, I love it. I'm not one that meditates. I've told you that. Somebody tells me not to think about something. Well, you just gave me a license to think about every single thing that's ever happened to me ever. Like, really, don't tell me not to think about anything. So I'm not a big fan of like just straight up meditation, but transcendental guided meditation, there's thousands of videos on YouTube. That's something different. That's like diving in underwater and silencing everything and waiting down there for a while. And then coming back up for air, and suddenly you're just like refreshed. It's really cool. If you haven't tried it, try it. Breath practice is huge. Prayer, really big, but you got to carve the time out consistently, and you're not going to get results in one day necessarily. It's compounding. So give yourself 30 days of that where you carve out 10, 15 minutes. Okay. Herbs like ashwagandha, get yourself some chill out. Those gummies are awesome. Available at Naturally Inspired Store. Support your mitochondrial health with a cellular reset. Support your gut healing, some good brew. Reduce your toxic load. Be mindful. Change what you can. Control what you put in your body. Optimize your nutrition. See you tomorrow, everybody, right here at 3 o'clock. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.